a case study on AventuraChiropractor.com. I'm going to start a 10-minute timer and get as much content in as possible. So this is a 4-month overview of AventuraChiropractor.com. You can see at the very left, that's April 16th. That's the day before the blog went up. There is no traffic, and there is a website that went on the first day, and you can see got traffic for about 5, with a peak about 10 days later after the first couple of blog posts went up, a little over 20 in a day. What's really interesting about this image right here is the fact that the first 30 days were spent with an assistant working on the social media marketing campaign for this business, for this website, and the rest of the time, the following 3 months were done all by the business owner. So obviously you could see that the business owner had dramatic results at the very beginning, came out running, and then I guess kind of felt like he didn't need the help and decided not to rehire and spent the next 3 months doing it himself. And odds are he probably hasn't looked at these analytics, because once he does, I realize that he does need that extra assistance in driving traffic. So what I want to do now is take a look at the most important part of this image you're looking at in the center, which is the 31-day period where the owner of Aventura Chiropractor had an assistant working with him. So you can see I've got the dashboard printout on the left of AventuraChiropractor.com, which is the site that we helped the client develop, and on the right you can see the well-established site that he's had online for a few years called MiamiChiropractors.com. Both of these URLs are keyword rich. The only difference, so you can see on the left that there is a website created called AventuraChiropractor.com. That's built on Wordpress.org software. It's a self-hosted WordPress blog to advertise his business. On the right, you have Miami Chiropractors, which is a web page that is supposed to be a super SEO-rich web page for chiropractors made by a firm that works with chiropractors on a regular basis. So you can see in the first month, the new web page outperformed the previously existing web page by 8 visits. But what's truly amazing is that the Aventura Chiropractor web page was actually much more engaging. You can see that the viewers of this web page went 800 to 887 pages, and the average viewer was on 5.5 pages, which means that they're poking around the web page, they're getting value from the customer, and they're probably making a buying decision, more so than when they take only 3 visits to the page, don't really engage. You can also see that Aventura Chiropractor has a lower bounce rate, which basically means that the users are sticking around the page rather than coming to the page and leaving. And also the average person on Aventura Chiropractor is staying there 3 minutes longer than MiamiChiropractors.com. What that means is that for every customer or every potential client of this chiropractor that goes to Aventura Chiropractor, they're being exposed to his business for an additional 3 minutes than if he had gone to the previous web page. Thus, you're creating more engagement with the traffic sources. They're very similar. Chiropractor in its first month got 74 visits from search engines. Those are organic searches. And then the well-existed site, which has had about 2 years to SEO, had about 20 more results. What the real advantage of Aventura Chiropractor initially was they were getting a lot of direct traffic from and referring sites from Facebook, from Twitter, from social media web outlets that were funneling traffic to Aventura Chiropractor, where Miami Chiropractor was really doing technology and systems that worked a few years back. They're only taking into account backlinks and the content of the page, whereas Aventura Chiropractor adds in the activity aspect of SEO. So to take a look at more details, a lot of people say, well, you got a lot of traffic, but you're getting this customer local traffic. So you could see in this image over here, country detail United States, Florida is a lot darker. We go all the way to the end of document, and you can actually see that out of 151 visits to this web page, the website Aventura Chiropractor had 115 visits from customers in Florida where this client is located, whereas the Miami Chiropractor's webpage, and remember Miami is a bigger city than Aventura, so they should be pulling in even more leads, actually underperformed against Aventura Chiropractor in visits, in page views, in average time on site, and even on the bounce rate. What I find is interesting is on Miami Chiropractors, you're getting a lot of people who are new customers, and on Aventura Chiropractor, you're getting a lot of returning visitors, new visits, which is great because if there's a low amount of new visitors on the site, that's probably people taking a look at this business a few times. And as you probably know, it takes a few times of a visit to a web page for a customer to make a buying decision. Most of these people go to Miami Chiropractor on the right are just not returning for more information. They probably didn't find enough value on the site. Going through this document, let's see how much time we have. We've got about 3 minutes left. So let's just plug one more last piece of interesting content and compare it. We're getting, okay. So now let's compare the traffic sources of Aventura Chiropractor and Miami Chiropractor. You can see with Aventura Chiropractor, they got a lot of traffic from Google, from Facebook through Twitter feed, and direct traffic. Those are probably people who bookmarked the webpage and came back again a second time to learn more about the business. On the right at Miami Chiropractor, they're getting, Google search, some direct traffic, some from the yellow pages, some from the super pages. I mean, think about it, who really reads the yellow pages these days? And a little bit off of Twitter, but none of that Facebook traffic and not as much direct traffic, which is really damaging to the traffic to the website and building the long-term brand. You also notice the keywords are quite different. We're getting keywords on Aventura Chiropractor, what people are looking for, like that are interested in chiropractor, like reversing the disc damage to their back, and the chiropractic and rehabilitation. Whereas the right, they're just saying Miami Chiropractor. It's probably people going through the top 10 on Google and just plugging in client. So let's search for a term, the Aventura Chiropractor for the term. What I found actually is one of the best performing terms on here has been reversing disc damage. So let me show you what that happens when you search for reversing disc damage. You'll find Insuring Chiropractor is the top page. You get sent to an article with advice on how to reverse the disc damage. People are sharing it on Facebook, connecting with the site, and if you want to see the home page of these sites, on the left right here, Aventura Wellness and Rehab. This is a WordPress blog. You'll see there's a spot open in the center for the client to put a YouTube video. He's elected not to put it up yet. He hasn't been able to get in front of camera to do a tour of his facility. And then you can see the site that originally I found my chiropractor from, where it's just not engaging. It looks like it's a chiropractor. So, funny enough, 10 minutes are up, so we're done.